Welcome to this episode of Raising Kellen, the podcast to motivate, inspire, and educate parents raising kids with special needs. I am your host, Marsh Naidu. I would love to introduce to you Levi Ervin and his mom, Dana Kramer, from Watkinsville, Georgia, just outside Atlanta. Listen here, guys. This is Cerebral Palsy Awareness Month. And we are going to celebrate how positively we live our lives. And I can't think of any better example than y'all.
Yes, thank you so much for having us. We're really excited to share our story with everyone.
Thank you for having us, and I'm excited to share my story.
Well, let's just go ahead and kick off with it. Levi, introduce yourself to our guest.
So my name is Levi Ervin. I'm 8 years old. I have cerebral palsy. What I'm going to be doing today is talking to you guys.
I promise I'm going to start off nice and simple and easy, okay? Tell us about school. What's going on at school right now, hon?
I'm doing good. And we're thinking about things such as devices, so I won't have to do the writing on my papers, so I won't fall behind and stuff like that.
From what I understand, you are in a mainstream class, and do you have someone that's perhaps helping you?
Yes, I have a parapro. Her name is Miss Worley. That is pretty much how that works.
Miss Worley is his in-classroom parapro. So she's in the classroom to help Levi and the other students as they need it. He used to have a one-on-one aide, but we've since moved up to just having the in-class pair. So she really helps Levi with verbal cues, transitioning, what else? Lunch tray,
etc.
She's amazing. She is my right-hand man. We couldn't do this without her. We give a lot. Right-hand woman?
Yeah.
We give a lot of credit to Rita Worley. She is absolutely an amazing woman.
Which school do you go to, Levi?
I go to South Jackson Elementary School.
And about how many kids are there in your class, hon?
26 in math because we have a student that comes over, but total in all other subjects would be a total of 25.
And what's your favorite?
My favorite subject would be probably math.
So what's this I hear about robotics? Can you tell me about robotics?
What I do is I'll enter this simple coding app, but we will drag these blocks over and then connect to our robot, and then it will tell it what to do.
So robotics is an after-school club. Let's see, the school competes, right?
Yeah, we compete. Fun fact, we are actually having competition the next Wednesday.
Oh, wow.
So we're going to go to robotics that day, and then later at 9, we're going to the competition.
That's exciting. I didn't even know that. Basically, they have a maze, and they do coding to get their robot to go through the maze and get to the end, the finish line, right?
Mm-hmm. And there are a lot of complicated rules to competitions, such as you can't get on the mat and anything like that.
A lot of stuff that you've had to learn.
Because then you'll get disqualified and stuff like that. Probably be sitting here for an hour if I talk about it all.
Okay, so let's move on from robotics then. Dana, I guess it's social media that brought us together.
So we got Instagram. Yeah, in August, I think is when we started his. I have a Facebook, and so a lot of our started out family and friends would look at our Facebook, and then Levi was trying to take over my Facebook account. So we just decided.
My mom made me an Instagram. So I could have my own platform of social media.
Totally. But we kind of do it together. Obviously, he's 8. I do manage everyone that talks to him or anything like that. But I think we saw your Raising Kellen on Instagram, and it was just.
But my mom says that I will be able to run it when I get older.
Yeah, maybe when you get a lot older.
But Dana, I think what really kind of attracted me to your guys' page was the fact that you all are always doing something exciting, something that I'm like, I can't believe these guys are doing this. The I Fly event. that you guys did, I think about 2 or 3 months ago. Tell the listeners about that, because that is something totally foreign to me, and I would love to learn more about that concept.
We have a friend, his name is Landon, and it was his birthday party. And his mother reached out. We have a place here in Atlanta called iFly. It's indoor skydiving facility. Landon, our buddy, is a little bit more severe, and his mom called and made sure that they accommodated his special needs. So she called Levi and invited us. That was a pretty awesome day. It was so cool. I remember the anxiety on the way there, and you may have not even known this, Levi, but I was really nervous thinking, how is his muscle tone going to do inside this air tunnel? Is he going to be able to hold his arms steady? Just the normal mother fears. I like to push Levi, but I still am his mom, so I still have those thoughts that you go to. But we got there and it was awesome, wasn't it?
Yeah, probably one of the funnest things I've ever done in my whole life. That was so fun.
What did it feel like being in that air turbine?
Oh, let me tell you something hilarious. I was in there, and on my first thing, my shoe fell off. And the guy went in there, swooped up and grabbed it. It was so cool.
It's an air tunnel, so I think in the bottom is high-powered fans and it's blowing the air up. They did a quick little class to kind of teach them of how to hold their body and little hand signals so the guy can communicate to them inside the tunnel.
Because with all the air, you can't communicate.
Levi, what did your muscles feel like when you were inside of it?
I felt pretty much normal, other than I was floating.
And now, guys, ESP.
Yes, extra special people.
All right, tell me more about that.
So it's a facility that's close to where we live. We actually found out about it through our Challenger Baseball League that Levi plays on. So there's another boy that everyone in Watkinsville is well known. His name is Cool Man Colin. He also has cerebral palsy. So Colin told me about ESP, and he said, Dana, I think that Levi would really love this. They do summer camp. So me and Levi went to ESP and we sat down, had a meeting with them. It was life-changing for us. It really was. We hadn't found anything yet. That was our first thing. Challenger Baseball League was our first thing we found, and then it kind of went from there. But ESP gave us so many options. They have summer camps, they do after school programs, clubs, activities. They do stuff all year long as well, like a fall festival. We go there to get pictures with Santa Claus. It's a lot easier than going to the mall. So it's just very accommodating. It's all ages, all disabilities. And they actually just ventured out with a business opportunity for their adult participants. It's called Java Joy. It's like a coffee tent that you rent and in your business, and then so you get coffee and you get a hug. Cool Man Colin's in that too. He's one of the first Joyristas, but it's pretty neat. So it's going to California now. Yeah. An investor out there picked it up and they're starting it. It's pretty amazing.
Can I speak?
Yep, you can speak.
Okay, so speaking of podcasts, ESP has their own podcast. ESP had altered my life.
Have you formed friendships with other kids that go to ESP, Levi?
That's how I met Landon.
Okay, so it's definitely been a bonus then, hasn't it? Let's talk about Blaze Sports and the road to the Nationals.
Okay. Starting to get into this.
For the listeners out there that can't see Levi, he is smiling ear to ear. That's how big this boy smiles right now.
Levi, are you good with me kind of talking about Blaze Sports
for a second? I want to talk about it. It's
okay, well then you
basketball.
Okay, well then tell them about Blaze Sports. They want to hear about it.
So Blaze Sports is this great organization that will give sports to kids. And with my very curious mind, which I was already into baseball, I said, why don't I try about basketball? So I entered the wheelchair basketball. Been playing for about 3 years. I'm having my first nationals this year that I'm going to. It is in Wichita, Kansas. We are going to fly to Wichita, Kansas. And we're going into nationals, second in the nation. Hopefully we win first. Very hopefully.
So, like Levi said, it's for lower extremity disabilities. And it's also not just for children, but for veterans as well, which is really cool. And so that's also located in Atlanta, Blaze Sports of America. They also do track, they have swimming, they have rock climbing. So who knows what we'll try in the future.
Next.
A lot, probably.
So Levi, what I've gone ahead and done is that I've written up a blog about all the cool stuff you do, and I've put that on the Raising Kellen website. I'm asking all of you listeners out there to please follow these young men and women as they hit the road to Wichita from the 12th to the 15th of March, and please give them your support. So we've talked about the basketball, we talked about ESP. Anything else that you want to tell me about that you're up to, Levi?
Now, before we end the show, I wanted to mention this. My Instagram. Please go follow me at Levi CP Life.
We're going to follow you, okay?
Okay. Another thing. This is going to be my first time flying that I remember. As a baby, I flew, but I don't remember that.
What were we flying for when you were a baby?
For my surgery? I don't quite remember.
Do you remember what the surgery was called?
The SDR.
Yes. So Levi had selective dorsal rhizotomy at 2 years old. I'd really like to touch on that for a second. The SDR was a game changer for Levi. So prior to 2 years old, Levi couldn't sit. He didn't really feel pain. So when he would get shots or give blood, there was no crying, no reaction.
And the doctors called me the goodest kid because I couldn't even feel the shot, so I wouldn't cry.
Yes. So, but there was so much spasticity, like so much that I don't think that he would be walking had we not had this surgery. But so our one of our specialist doctors kind of let us know about it. I did a lot of research and I found Dr. Park at St. Louis Children's Hospital. He is...
Congratulations to this man.
Yeah, we love Dr. Park. He is an amazing man, and I truly feel that God works through this surgeon. Like, oh man, he's amazing. So we, if there's any parents out there and your child's young, you have the spasticity, very extensive, I know that parents may be thinking, I don't even know about this cerebral palsy yet, and now I need to think of a surgery. But you send in a very extensive video application to Dr. Park that he reviews, and he only chooses candidates that it's going to benefit. So you're not going into it blindly. Obviously he would tell you if it's not going to benefit your child, but we do know a lot of quadriplegics and diaplegics that have had this. So it's readily available and it's something to look into. Let's see. So we had to go out of state and the surgery is not covered by insurance. It was $37,000 surgery. And
my great mom over here did a ton of fundraisers and raised the money.
I was 28 years old and was in college, and I got the call from Dr. Park and they said, Levi's an amazing candidate. We want him here. Can you have the money in 1 month? I mean, I said, yes, we'll be there. And I hung up the phone and I went back in my class and I picked up my books and I left. And that is the last day that I was in college. I quit right then. And the next month was just fundraisers like crazy.
Which I don't remember this, but she knows. I don't.
Yes, we did bake sales, golf tournaments. I mean, it sounds unimaginable, but if you're a parent, you can get it done. There's GoFundMes, there's so many ways. But I just want to touch real fast. I remember when Levi, we got there and you meet Dr. Park the day before and you speak with this man for, maybe 30 minutes. You meet him, you go back to your hotel, and the next morning you come in and you have the surgery. You don't get tons of time or a special moment with this doctor because you're out of state and you're only seeing him for a second. But I can tell you, in that 30 minutes with Dr. Park, he brought every concern that I had just to ease. He walked me through what was going to happen. Very knowledgeable man, very great bedside manner. We felt really good going into it. And then the last thing I want to say is, because this was something I'll never forget, when Levi woke up from the surgery, me and my mother and Levi's father were all in the room. I just reached out as a mom to touch him, like I just wanted to touch my son and, make sure that he's okay. Well, I touched his foot and he said, "Ow, mommy, that hurts." And I remember pulling my hand back, and the doctor looked at me and he said, "It doesn't hurt. It's a tickle." And he's never felt sensation like that.
And you were like freaking. And I don't even remember any of this, but I know you were freaking out.
I was totally freaking out.
Like that.
It was amazing. So the SDR, Dr. Park goes into the spine and he removes a piece of the bone and he tests the nerve endings that are spastic, and he actually cuts those nerve endings. So for Levi, 12 nerve endings were cut. And it was almost after the surgery, there was just no muscle strength because they were completely cut. And then we did intense therapy 5 days a week, 2 hours a day.
I just remember this because of how crazy it was.
Yes, to build up the muscle strength. And I think it was a very long journey, but I think at 4 years old, Levi took his very first independent steps with no assistance.
What a memory.
What would be your take-home message to moms, Dana and dads?
I guess I would like to talk a little bit about the diagnosis moment. That was a big moment for me. So I think for any parent, the unknown is obviously very fearful. But when you receive the diagnosis, there's a point of processing, and as a mother, I can go back to that day and, for a moment, and Levi, this may be confusing to you, but the moms and dads will understand. In that moment, everything kind of just stopped. Like life just stopped. When the doctor told me, Levi has cerebral palsy and he's never going to
walk, talk, eat, sit, sleep. He's going to die.
He didn't say you were going to die. He just said that he may not walk and talk. And in that moment, it's hard to process that. You carry something inside you and you have dreams and aspirations.
And look at me now.
Right. That's what I want to get at to the parents. And that moment is very hard, but it's not
always the truth.
That's not the end. There's a lot more. And, I had to go through a process of accepting it. And I want to say that to other parents. You got to accept the diagnosis, and you've got to lean on friends and family and Jesus, and you got to look for the positive because it's there. It's just going to be different than you had imagined. And that was really hard just to change. It just changes your aspirations, your thoughts, your dreams. But it's turned out pretty awesome.
And even I had to say, tell myself, I have cerebral palsy. Let's face that. It's happened. It's done. But I'm not going to let that define me. And that's exactly what I thought in my brain. And so far, that's going pretty good.
I would say so, young man. So do you do that? Do you tell your mind, look, brain, I need to do this, so I need to do that? Do you talk to yourself that way, Levi?
Oh my gosh. You could ask my mom. I talk to myself 24/7.
Levi is an avid talk to yourself type of individual.
Like, my mom will just hear me speaking to nothing. And she's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm talking to myself."
He does a lot of self-affirmations and calming methods.
Like when I'm sitting in my room mad because I just got in trouble, I'm like, okay, let's face it, I'm in trouble. Now let's sit here, think about what's wrong about what we did.
And so emotions are a little challenging at times. That's why he's saying, like, for example, if he was in trouble, whereas, well, I don't know because I don't have a typical
I'm kind of
child.
sad mixed with angry.
Yeah, I see like typical parents be able to tell their typical child, raise their voice at him or whatever, and the kid gets sad, but they walk away. For Levi, I have to be very careful because he can go from 0 to 10 instantly. Like, if he can laugh so hard he can't stop laughing, he can cry so hard that he can't stop crying. So emotions are a struggle for him, and he does a lot of the talking to himself and self-calming through that to kind of get through those emotions.
Like, if my mom raises her voice at me, I will start busting out crying.
But you've come a long way. It's definitely, at a younger age, it was pretty intense. But now at 8, he's really finding his way to control these emotions. And I'm super proud of you for that.
Which we still even talk about. Like, my mom still has to verbally say, control your emotions. And I have to sit there and, like, think, control your emotions, control your emotions, control your emotions.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my goodness, Dana.
So all those parents out there that may have nonverbal kids, the grass is always greener, as you can hear mine on this podcast.
All right, Levi, what do you have to tell other young CP warriors out there? What would be your message to them, sir?
You can do it. It could be hard, but you can do what you set your mind to, no matter what.
Yes.
Absolutely. Well, guys, your story is out on the blog at raisingkellen.org. Levi, give me your Instagram handle again.
My Instagram is at Levi CP Life. Please follow me.
Dana, any last words, my dear, before we get ready to close out?
Yeah, I just want to let all the other parents out there know you're not alone in this journey. And so to be strong enough to carry on for your child, I suggest, reach out in social media. And, there's plenty of us out there. And you hear all the time it takes a village. Well, it definitely takes a village with special needs. So reach out, look at other people's journeys, and just know that
Social media has got
this is my question.
Hey, I'm just trying to chime in like I always do.
Just stay strong for your children and try to find the light and look for the good. And my biggest advice is don't compare. It's just not worth it. Don't compare. Live in the moment. Enjoy the milestones as they come, because they're all so important, right?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you all so much for sitting down and chatting with me this evening. And we have come to the end of another podcast. And as always, remember, get to the top of that mountain. This is Marsh Naidu signing off.